Okay, hello and welcome to our Maritime Webinar. Yeah.
Yes, hello, welcome. Nice to be here again.
Again, yes. Yeah. You just saw us in September doing the English launch webinar. Today we want to do it, we want to do something a little bit more specific and talk to you about. It's more than a hobby by now, actually. It started maybe a little bit as a hobby within innovaphone, but now, yeah, it is our focus, especially for Richard, but also for me, now the maritime market, and we would like to share, our knowledge about our product in this market with you and what we have to offer. And as you were able to see, as you were able to enjoy already at the beginning, we plan on actually extending our portfolio even more in the maritime sector with the lovely intercoms. This was also the original intention of this webinar. And thinking about that.
But I think thank you for mentioning my name. I'm the guys who don't know me. Yeah. I'm Richard Olsen. I'm the sales manager for the Nordic countries. So, and I think we are a lot of Nordic people in this webinar. So hi, some of you have met me. Some of you are new. It doesn't matter. Looking forward to show you what we have. Anyway, so
just as I said again, so as you've seen on the lovely picture, this is basically going to be our intercom. What we have so far, it's a little bit delayed. We wanted to show you also exactly that, but as it is nowadays with the hardware production, everything takes a little bit longer to actually get all the material. But to what we already have. What do you have here, Richard?
Yes,
on your
what I have in my hand. Actually, I have the PCB.
Yes. Yeah.
So from that perspective, we have a prototype as a software and PCB level. Unfortunately, we don't have any housing. That was the goal, to have a house today, but we will show you some real cool stuff anyway. Exactly. With the PCB, because it works. Software is in place. We are starting the development from that perspective. So take it cool. We will show you.
Yes, exactly. And apart from that, there is also going to be a lot more news from our side that we want to share. Of what we understand, there is also going to be a lot of new people joining us that might not know us that well, which is like why we start a little bit from scratch, talking more about us, giving a good product overview of our placement, our strengths, especially in the maritime sector, talking about our architecture. Of course, then showing you all the details about the new intercoms, give you a little bit of a live demo, then we're actually getting to work. Show you some references, what we've already done so far in the maritime sector, and then we have our questions. We have our lovely colleague Madeleine in the chat. I see some of you already take advantage of the chat. Please do, interact with us, get in contact with us, even in Swedish. That's at least for 50% of the people in the room, it's no problem. Yeah. So I can feel left out there for a minute. No, but so please feel free, send Madeleine all the questions you like, and we try to answer as many as possible by the end of it. Okay. So let's start. Yeah, let's start. Who is innovaphone? Founded in 1997, so we are already 27 years old. so very experienced and located in Stuttgart, Germany. And as you can see, it's a bit, also for my own taste, a bit too far away from NEC possible.
Where is the hardware?
Yeah, but nevertheless, as you can see here, also this little dot, so all the little dots show where we have also some offices, and especially here, this is Richard's headquarter in Gothenburg, right?
Yes.
So yes, so he has a lot of contact to the sea, but no, just in general, we have actually been very active already in the maritime sector for quite some time. Yeah, we are active. We have a lot of partners also in a lot of countries. We're active internationally, and what is also very important is that all of our products are 100% engineered and produced in Germany. So, yeah, a little bit of the timeline, like an evolution where we come from, where we started. In 1997, we were the IP rebels, so to say.
Pioneers.
Yeah, pioneers, yeah. We started out with the telephony, basically just, connecting different locations for the IP communication, connecting different PBXs. In 2001, then we actually added to our box, to our gateway. Back then, it was literally only a gateway. We added a fully fledged PBX that is running on our own OS, operating system, our own PBX to it. In 2012, the world in communication has changed again and again. We added also our UC suite, also all designed and developed by us. And then 2019, two major milestones, right?
Yes.
After the first one is we added actually to our PBX and UC suite, we actually added our app platform and our client myApps that we will also show you later. But also after our partners actually had then requested, yeah, they actually had seen the potential even earlier and installed us on these vessels a lot earlier, and then they said, hey, you have such a great product, but why don't you certify it? That would actually help us a lot. So we actually got the first DNV maritime certification first for our hardware. But yeah, as you can see, there is also a second DNV sign here. When we added this year, actually in June, our system certification, system approval. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. In 2024, just to explain this year too, we actually added our microblogging platform called Connect as well, also entering entering the sphere even outside of pure voice communication.
Yeah,
in that sense. But we'll show you a little bit more
of that. The first step towards business application.
Towards business applications, correct. Yeah. One thing that we would actually like to mention as well, because it is part of our DNA ever since 1997, we are working actually in a strictly indirect business. We never sell directly. And yes, we always sell in a two-tier distribution model. So via our, so the end customer buys from one of our trained, certified partners, and they buy from our distributors.
Yep.
All right. What is also important for you to know is, or it's a good way also of showing who we are. over the time, we have actually
fulfilled,
certified a lot of approvals, certifications. A lot of it has to do then with security. Made in Germany. We are a European product. That is not that many players, I would say, left as well. But this is part of our identity, and could become more and more important as well. Yeah, and of course the ISO 9001 for the quality management. The ISO 14001, that is actually our commitment to working sustainable, environmentally friendly, which is also reflected actually into our products, to be honest, as much as we can. And also the ISO, also just think we achieved it end of last year, beginning of this year, yes. 27001, again, another, this is one of our pillars, one of our main focuses is security. And of course, talking about approvals.
Yes, this is the 2 version of approval that we have. We have actually an hardware approval, that is the bottom line for the hardware. And this year we added with the system approval for the functionality. So we actually have 2 approvals in combination. But the main approval is the last one, that is TAA 00003DD. That's the approval to lean on. Yes, as when you buy a product from us, we always had a sticker that is saying that this is a product that is approved, etc., etc. So I think we comply fine these days with the demands. And if you want to find all the information, you have that in our wiki, as you can see in the slide here in the list. And if you are already interested, go to the wiki and search just for DNV, and it will pop up.
Okay.
Good.
So let's start getting into our product line. It all started with our shiny little box,
beloved
box, exactly. So, and all of what you can see actually also runs on this box. Of course, it can also be virtualized, but especially in the maritime sector still loves hardware on premise, has the need for it, honestly. So, and we're very proud of it.
And we're very proud of that.
Yeah. So, and so what is running here? What is actually part of our portfolio? Of course, what we already said, the telephony part. We also have we cover the mobility, like DECT, like Wi-Fi, as well in our portfolio.
So we cover fixed phones, we cover wireless phones.
Yes.
And on top of that, we add UC and collaborations.
Yes.
That is basically what in the past was needed. But on top of that, we also have our myApps platform these days. So it's a really sophisticated, state-of-the-art collaboration platform, I would say, today.
Yeah.
And this is what the picture illustrates. Yes.
So having a complete portfolio. When we take a look at this list, this is just like an overview of all of our hardware. The main message here is, and if you want, we can also send out the presentation to you afterwards. Then you can see, enjoy all the information that this vast information that this slide provides. The main message is here. Basically, we have a solution for almost every environment with the gateway. So those gateways, basically, they differ in, for example, the CPU power, but mainly actually in the hardware interfaces. For example, here the 311 still has some FXO if needed. We know that on some retrofit.
Especially for VSAT, for example,
yes.
there is still a need for FXOs.
Yes.
So.
Whereas we have on the other ones, for example, some PRI interfaces. But on all of those gateways is running the same program. It is running the same feature set that we're having. So to cover all of those scenarios, you can offer in all environments, you can offer innovaphone as the system. And you don't even have to learn how to program a different product. It is all the same. It is just a different hardware platform. All also running on PoE. Yeah. So also again, when we talk, there is always a discussion, right, about low emission, and the little part that we can actually do in that is actually our efficient platform, energy efficient. Yes, of course, we've already talked about it, about the reality on many ships, that there is still also a lot of analog devices involved, and of course we also have analog adapters here running on PoE, and one model. I failed to mention that for the gateways, I'm sorry. And also one hardware here, the IP298 is also DNV approved.
I mean, with that in combination, we are very flexible to support both analog and IP in combination. Of course, the track is to be pure IP, but we know analog is still needed in terms of the cabling on the vessels. So we can combine that in the nice mix.
Yes, and then of course on the we were mainly talking about the back end. What is hidden there?
Over to the front end.
Moving over to the front end, what is more visible? So yes, as we said, those the end phones, we have different ranges here. Also one model, the IP111 with a DNV certification. Also developed and produced by us. Of course, we also have like a IP160 currently in our portfolio, which is a hard phone for harsh conditions. We've already installed it on windmills and in tunnels, right? Jails. So a lot of interesting projects, honestly. And what is really interesting here is when we talk about the front end is the myApps for call control. So what used to be called CTI, and we can still do that, and you can even control from a PC, mainly an analog phone if need be.
So from what I can see when I visit the wheelhouse bridge, there is tons of monitors, PCs. So in theory, you can actually have a telephone beside, but you can control the audio from the PC. So,
but of course, also we also can run a soft phone. And the advantage of the myApps client in that sense is actually that it is device independent. So we can run it on a Windows PC, or you can run it out of the browser on your cell phone, iOS, Android. So
it's really flexible.
Again. And here again, we have a little bit. We have prepared a really nice overview regarding the functionalities in the Maritime sector.
So we just try to list them, what is the normal use case for a telephone, and hands-free, etc., headset support. And this is the product that we have today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the most of the product meets a lot of demands already. But as you can see, one of the product is then approved. So, but you can mix them nicely in a cabin that is not need an approval, and then you put phones with approvals in areas where it's required. So we don't not necessarily go through the list, but we think that is what is the normal use case, and that is what we have today.
Yeah. What we also have today already in our system approval mentioned.
Yes, as we don't have, for example, units yet that support that's supporting dimmable display, that's supporting dimmable keycard. We need to add that type of features, and at the moment we are using a product together with Seacom, which is a really sophisticated analog gate telephone. I think we will zoom it in, but as you can see later on, it's look like the product that we are going to show you, which means there you have the collaboration. So this is the housing that we are aiming for.
Correct. Yeah. So together with Carl Johan, we then decided, to actually go and develop an IP intercom.
Yes.
That will fit perfectly, and look at all those green little check marks. Yes. Okay, so yeah, and what we teased really quick before, what we mentioned before, basically what we also have in our portfolio is DECT, of course, and Wi-Fi phone. We mentioned the soft phone, the myApps that is running on the myApps client that can run on multiple devices, or also integrate GSM.
Which sometimes is very useful on a whistle in wireless situations. So,
yep.
So that was the mostly about the hardware, backend and frontend, and we will also try now to explain a little how we can place that hardware in our ecosystem and by idea. So let's move over to how it could look like in reality. But first we want to inform in the big picture. So we would like to encourage you to understand how you can use our software in combination with the hardware in a big system. So next slide, please. So how can a multi-location look like? This is real life. Yeah, I mean, cloud is the thing today, and you just took one too quick, but nevertheless, we can put a central master, as we call it, in the cloud. And from that cloud, of course, you can connect devices directly, but that doesn't fit really good when ships moving around out in offshore situations. So what we can do in that, we can actually combine local installations with on-prem.
But you can set up the system centrally. You can maintain it centrally or locally, but still,
yes,
you can connect headquarter, port site, ships, and the oil rig, for example. You can connect all of them in one system.
True. So, and when you combine it like this, you actually can do local administration, and you can also do central administration, because if the connection is down, you need to do local maintenance. So from a big perspective, we really think this is an easy way to do big rollouts.
And so here you have the full flexibility between, because everything comes from us, being the cloud solution, the virtual solution, or the gateway, the hardware. As I said before, it is always the same solution. You can mix and integrate different kinds of environments in there.
So yes, then it's, as we said, it simplifies big rollouts and monitor and maintenance in general from different places. But another good possibility is that you can have multi-breakouts, meaning you can take your landline or whatever it is from a central point, or directly local from the area, from the chip or weasel or landline, and it's provider independent. So whatever provider you have, it will go.
So going more into from the big picture to the
local architecture.
Yes.
Which again, it will pinpoint our flexibility. So yes.
How does it look like?
How does it look like? What do we actually need? We can have I don't know, the animation doesn't work here. So there was a slide before that explaining you can actually have any appliance, depending on the need. You can also have a virtual machine, but we need a appliance to have as an operation system for the OP, operation platform. And then you build your infrastructure on that. It could look like this, depending on needs. And to be able to comply now with Maritime, if you remember the box, the gateway that you need, so it's an IP811. So actually here you have a complete setup, but you also have a single point of failure. And you can go with this, it's okay, it's fine. It will work according to the requirement. But we would like to promote that we can also do standby. So which means, by simple means, you can add another box to become a backup. We call it standby. And it will be a passive gateway to the active, just waiting to take over. But it could be any gateway. So if here comes the nice mix, if you have interfaces for FXS, if you have interfaces for FXO, you can actually have that additional standby as your interface box gateway. So it will give you two benefits at once. Again, so 200 system. If you remember the slide where we said how many users you can have, you can actually squeeze in more than 200, but that is the recommendation today. How do we do that? I mean, it depends on DNV requirements or not, I guess. Assume we need a DNV. Then you must have in our situation, you actually must have the 811 as a base. But we actually then just add another slave, another box into the system, which actually becomes the gateway, the functionality for the passengers' functions.
Yeah, I mean, so for example,
and then we talk about thousands and thousands users.
Yeah.
And again, you can also have a backup on that. So in the end, actually, what you see here, you have full redundancy, you have load balance, and you actually have access to all interfaces at the same time. So it's depending on the need, how you can combine this local architecture. And what about the onboard flexibility in detail then? This slide should illustrate how we can connect, what we can do in more terms.
Yeah, the innovaphone system, the myApps, is the core or the heart of the environment, communication environment, especially. Yeah.
So if you remember, we had the fixed phones.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of them, so a variety. And of course, we also have wireless. We don't support all hardware, or we support all hardware, but we don't manufacture our own all hardware ourselves. So, but of course, we can connect third party. We have a good alliances with third parties. So meaning,
this is, apart from that, this has always been also a little bit since I am responsible for telling the history of innovaphone in this round. Yeah, so this has also always been a part of innovaphone, that we also speak standards, or and we have open APIs for integration. But also we speak standard zip, and we actually have an easy time integrating also other hardware. Some of it we can, I guess, mention some of the partners or that we have already integrated, be it from actually Zenitel
on board as a tech partner.
Yeah.
We have Snome, we have Gigaset, we have Ethan.
Yeah.
So there are tech partners. And speaking about additional features and speaking about what we can do in the myApps platform, which we are going to show you later on as well as the workshop part, we actually can handle alarms. We can handle alarms together with partners, advanced features, alarms. But we also can handle the standard alarms in regards for voice. But we can also handle some simple alarms for messaging these days in terms of IoT integrations, which we will check out later. Yes. So yes, by clicking next, we can actually see that we can send out different types of alarm already today on the platform without additional servers or whatever it's required. So I think we support alerting quite well. And of course, we're talking about landlines, we're talking about trunk lines, we're talking about external connection, and there we have the satellite connection again. Check FXO, FXS, PRI, ZIP, whatever. And last but not least, our business application, our app platform, which is actually also on board.
Which is just a lot more opportunities in a lot of different directions that can go. Of course, we use it mainly for the business applications right now, but you will see there is a little bit of crew welfare already involved. We already have an offer, but there is actually a lot more open opportunity. So we have a lot of partners. It's an open platform. We have a well-documented SDK, where we see every day coming in more and more actually app partners with new app ideas. And so we're also open for actually your initiative and your use cases that you see. And so then we will fill this more with even more life.
Yeah.
Haha, drum roll.
Drum roll. So of course we can talk about the intercom, but we cannot show it in a ready-to-go prototype. But of course we have all the data. So let's go through our ideas of the intercom. Okay, bam, boom. The idea is to have, of course, a flush mounted. That is relative mandatory on wheelhouse, which can have all the interface later on. We will touch that in another slide. And a similar unit we will have as a wall mount, which could be the engine room, steering gear, or whatever place that you want to have the Rolls-Royce. Yeah. Because this is our primary Rolls-Royce, yeah, with a nice display, speed dials, etc. So where you have need for more information with the display.
Nice rubber keys. And,
rubber keys, yeah. Yes. Yes, I think that is okay. And then we have two other versions. As you can see, this version does not support hands-free, which means there is no built-in speaker and microphone, and there is neither a display. And the idea is with that to be able to put this version in even more extreme ruggedized needs.
And at the same time have like a cost-effective model, yes, because if you need an external speaker anyways in those environments, yeah, to have an effective, cost-effective use case, good model here. Yeah.
And yes. And last but not least, maybe the most flexible model that we think is going to be the most valued version.
Most sought after.
Yes, which then have a speaker, which have a built-in microphone, which support hand-free. Button without display.
Mm-hmm.
So in total we have 7 models. To be honest, we don't know if we will produce them all at the beginning. We might there are similarities. It's depend on you guys, what you think is needed. More in detail. We will not show all the models in all details. We will pinpoint 2,
yep,
which we think is the versions that are going to be most used, and IP170 and IP171 are very similar, so we will take them in one slide. So, and as you can see, it's pure PoE. And yes, we talk about rubber key. It's really nice keys, touchable keys, and it will be red backlight, auto dimmable. It will support all the features that is required, push to talk, and we will put the display on it. And yes, it will be an built-in speaker. And it will, of course, support announcements. And yes, next, boom, of course, handset, headset, and even the external speaker. And what we think is a little unique is actually that we have put an USB interface on it.
Yep.
We have not decided yet where it could be connected to camera or a headset or whatever it is. We
also
put it in.
Yeah.
It's up to you. My wish is that we will support camera, because then we'll have a flexible unit that actually can be kind of a door phone, and an intercom at the same time. And now, one of the unique things that we actually is really proud about is that we can power feed a sounder beacon directly from the unit. We don't need local power to the sounder beacon in that case. And in many cases, I assume there is power supplies everywhere. There is cabling needed just to power up the sounder beacon. And you also need the Ethernet cable for the intercom itself. And I think this will save a lot of
cabling,
power consumption, yes, or power supplies that consume power when they are idle. So I think this is something that could be really useful.
And we have to.
In many cases. And yes, of course, we also have a dry contact to connect additional sounder beacons if there is already in place. So that was about the IP70, and then move over to this.
Being a little bit faster.
Yes.
So basically the main difference is, so we have a very similar feature set. The main difference is here that instead of the rubber keys, we will have more basic foil keys. We will have a really nice built-in 20-watt speaker, which is a little bit more powerful. But as you can see, a very similar feature set.
And actually, I can see a typo here. It's not IP171, it's 174.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So
sorry.
We will change that.
Yes. Okay. All right.
So that was about the intercom. I hope that encouraged you to see if it's fit the needs.
But let's now go to a little bit more of a practical exercise. And jumping into our what I already mentioned, our myApps client.
Yes.
Here.
Could you just log out so we actually can see how easy you can access to the system, because it doesn't really scale completely if you actually are logged in. So in this situation, we can use the browser to log in.
Yeah, but
we can also use a native client.
Yes, which is this version that we have here. I can just have my username and my password, and usually now we would be faced with a two-factor authentication because security.
Yes.
But since we are in the same network and we have logged on before, our system is letting us log in immediately.
And so actually what you did do, you actually logged in to this system that is actually local here. So we're going live, completely live. I hope not the demo ghost will trick us.
Exactly. What this system is actually, it is a DNV setup.
It is
correct?
A DNV setup in terms of features.
Yeah.
I didn't take the 811. It really doesn't matter. It's just the box because I have some FXO in that. But function-wise, it will be the same. So
and so what we want to show you here is also in terms of flexibility. We now have this environment on this client that was fit exactly our needs especially for this presentation. But of course, it's not a monolithic client. You can exactly put what the user or what the situation requires on it.
And you logged in as the bridge user.
Correct.
Which actually will be the same as log in on the bridge telephone.
Yes. Correct.
So in theory, you now have 2 telephones because, not in theory, in fact, because I also have a hardware phone that is bridge telephone.
So let's take a look. What we want to also illustrate here is some of the advantages that we told you, and we want to show it to you in practice. And one thing that we also mentioned is the central administration and the easy maintenance. And one great tool for it is the Devices app. So for example, here, just with in this app, with one click, you have access actually to all devices connected to one domain. Yeah, also to the PBX, and you can easily see whether all of them are online or connected and what the current status is. Yes. And here, as we can see, the IP170 currently
is disconnected, and it really is disconnected. And just because we want to tease you also about the IP170 model, it makes sense that we connect it now then and see if it's booting up.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I also want to promote. Oh, it's up. I also want to promote how simple it is to connect the wiring directly without external power supply for the sounder beacon. And well, does it work? Hopefully, I need to call yes, bum, and then I have a speed dial, and yes, easy as that. Check.
So you can see we're actually already further along. Okay.
So complete overview of all
devices and complete control, be it locally or, of course, centrally. What we then now have, we can go even more into detail, which is actually quite cool with our end devices, and we can even have access to the screen of our
directly of the desktop.
Desk phones, yes, and control, honestly.
And we can even control.
Yeah. So
this is what we're going to use today, so you actually see what we are doing.
Exactly. So this is especially useful now for our demo purposes, to be honest. Yeah. What we can also, what we would like to show you here is, of course, now this is my bridge user, and here we have several functionalities that we will also show you specific to the bridge. Of course, if we switch over, for example, to the captain, we have a completely different, not completely, but we have somewhat different feature sets with different speed dials, for example, like the wake up or voicemail, for example. Yeah. So again, like According have exactly the right solution for the role that it plays on board. We could even go a little bit further and take a look here at the engine control room, which basically is a very simple one, or here in the crew cabin, also including, for example, the wake up. But let's focus on the bridge a little bit.
Yes, focus on the bridge. And well, as we are now touching what we can do in terms of the requirements of DNV, we don't need to go through them all because we can do call intrusion. We can do. But one call intrusion that could be cool to show is how easy it could work with partner keys. So if, for example, now you are bridge and I'm calling to ECR, it's And now we can see those guys are busy. And as I have the bridge telephone here, and I see actually now the call is occupied on ECR, I just directly press the key and I'm in the call. And that is priority call, call intrusion, whatever you call it, but in a more sophisticated way. Of course, you can use prefix to make the call intrusions, but that is the benefit by using partner keys, for example.
Yeah, just to make it easier. Yeah. No prefixes mixed up. Yeah. No, very exactly and clear.
Yes,
instruction.
Clear. And from bridge, probably you need to execute alarms. Of course, we can execute alarms. The question is what type of alarm we need to execute. Voice alarms is not an issue. I mean, we are dealing with voice all the days, and every telephone has a speaker. So just by pressing, for example, what do we have there? We have we change slide.
Oh, okay.
Bum, and we press man overboard. And we will hear that in the speaker. So check, we can actually execute alarms from a telephone. It could be also a button. It could be actually whatever input.
Yeah.
But the output, we can do to any.
For this, our system also integrates into, and this is a very common question, into PAGA system.
Yes.
When we're,
But then when we integrate with PAGA system, we normally need to have a talk back. So we need to talk to use. And that could be over SIP, it could be FXO. It's depending on the PAGA system itself. But of course, you can also use an audio module. So it doesn't really make it different. We can do that. On the fly, we can just simply do as we have zone announcements. That is really just zones. It could be, again, an IP speaker, but here we just illustrate that by having two zones, all telephones. And so, yes, if I press the button, it will announce everywhere. But the difference is then I will talk out in the zone. I will not play a message, a pre-recorded message.
Yeah.
So, yes, we support all that features.
Yeah. So again, then, so this was also for a little bit of a demonstration feature, demonstration, but also like of the administration that you can do within the myApps client, again, from a lot of different devices. Regarding this, we also have added here a remote control as a potential feature, which is more like where you can take over the control on a different screen of the likes of a TeamViewer, for example, but you don't need to leave your system, your infrastructure for it, and go via a cloud somewhere very far away.
So still local.
Yeah, so much for administration, but of course now myApps is also, of course, a communications client.
It is.
And I have here also, if I want to use the bridge user also on a mobile device, I have here my soft phone. With the advantage, of course, that it is also easy to accept video calls. When would that be useful? And one of the examples we thought was, for example,
yes,
a door phone.
because now you are in the PC or in the client, and normally the call come from a door phone or whatever. So let's illustrate that with a Sentinel unit. So hey, hello Simon,
hi
guys.
Simon,
So yes, so we can simply use door phones into the client.
Yeah, or and video integration if needed. Yeah. Then what we of course also support is a chat that we can enable. And what is also interesting is that on the same platform, without adding anything, we also have a multi-video conference.
And now I need my glasses.
Yeah. And just to show you how easy it is, so basically, because you don't even need to send out a lot of different links. Of course, for external participants, we have that, but for internally, you just go into the room and you call, and then we have to wait, you know, as it is in real life, we have to wait for the captain.
Yes, I was waiting for talking, but I'm now connecting. So lucky me, I'm the captain then. So,
yes.
So I'm now I'm now using my mobile phone, and I'm starting the client. And as you can see here, we actually now are in a video conference.
Yes. So
and again, we should not forget it's local.
Yes, it's all local, still running, also being able to run on premise. Yeah, the use case might be more maybe on oil rigs, for example, more unsteady than maybe on a ship, but who knows? The thing is, there is the possibility is there. Then we're also a little bit apart from communication, but still like a common use case is the integration of CCTV, for example, or of at least cameras, because in this case, we're actually integrating the cameras. We're accessing the camera of the door phone. As you can see here, still looks very familiar. So you can take advantage of cameras that already exist in door phones or any other likes, and also easily integrate them here. And also you can integrate more devices actually than one into the app and have like a nice overview. It's just that we simply didn't connect the second one. Yeah. And when we talked about more opportunities, so we just listed here a few apps that are already available for you to use with like an actually quite sophisticated calculator.
Yeah.
A little bit of word guess, you know, a little game to play.
Crew welfare,
crew welfare,
have time or less.
Yeah. I'm not sure how democratic the day-to-day is on a boat, but we also have a voting app. Captain, what did you think of like the last fire drill?
The last fire drill. Let's see if I change my mind. The last fire drill, yeah, I think that was a disaster.
But also what is actually a little bit a very common use case, I think, is an info bot where you can just basically post information, the latest information. In this here we have like a really beautiful Swedish menu
for a week,
for the week. But of course you can have a lot more announcements here as well, and keep them easily up to date. Crew welfare, some internet radio, and also I call it now time tracking. This is basically to track our working time. And this is all what you already have available easily to you now within the myApps environment. Going to the future, taking a look into the future. Huh?
So yes, what we have and what we also have, to be honest, but a little more to the future. For example, we are playing around with IoT stuff. What should we do with that? So there is a developing stage now where they actually are testing Shelly products. I don't know if that's ruggedized enough, but at least it's stating we can take care of the data. So there is tons of different type of units.
But could also be a sensor, for example.
For example, this is a sensor, but it's just showing how it could look like. It could be other sensors. It could be data from other channels, ESPA or whatever it could be. But nevertheless, how can we use that today? So we figured out some use cases, and yes, input in need input out. So for example, our Connect app that you open now could be a really good application to store information, for example, like a logbook.
Yeah.
So if I now, you can take that out, it's an old, so if I now press once, you should have an IoT input.
Yeah.
And just so you understand how it works, there is an IoT dongle connected as to our PBX, and just taking care of the data.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, so it's like not those alerts, so it wouldn't be say alarm, but those alerts, they can then they're documented, recorded, and what we can also say is we can also document here is that, of course, that it was taken care of, you know.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and can just simply
and you
post it.
Yes, you can post it. You can post it to a colleague. You can post it to a group.
Exactly.
Who actually can then store it somewhere else.
Yeah. And that is not IoT is not the only use case. For example, what we already working with also internally is our projects app for project management that can also be used as like a, let's say, it's simple task manager. So which could then also be the result of it. Yes, deck has been cleaned, minibar has been whatever stocked, something like that.
Yes.
Engines have been controlled, a little bit more important than the minibar. This can all be documented also here. But it is not only right that we do it for documentation, right? So it can also be like call for an action.
Yeah,
so
the main driver was to simulate some type of simple alarms. How can we actually do actions when an alarm is raised? So to simulate that, we planned, okay, how can we do that? But for example, fog alarm, I don't know actually how it works, but maybe someone see there is a fog and then they go press a button. Maybe there is a sensor saying, hey, fog, but what is important, that is on the whistle you need to take action. So with our infrastructure, we actually can send out information, alerts, to any end device. So if you go back to the myPhoneKids app and I try to simulate a fog alarm, a sensor, so actually units that is in the group will receive this information. And now the next part is probably to take an action. And if you go over to home button, and you go there, you have the home button, and then we do like this step. So, and then you execute the alarm, fog alarm, anchor, for example, and then we can do the action around it. So by using IoT together with our alarm functionality, we have the scenario.
Yeah. Of what I understood, though, it could already be possible to cause the call or the action immediately, even without someone manually having to do it.
Yeah, if that's a routine on board, then it could be that. But if it's manually activated, then so it's just about the needs.
Yeah. And what you were also able to see here is when the fog alarm was,
in the we store it in the
story, then it is in the logbook. And not only that, but it could, for example, if the captain has a mobile device or someone else has a mobile device, would also receive this alarm.
I have it also in here.
Yes. Of course, the captain does. Yeah. All right. Okay. So much for our workshop.
I think we stopped there and hope that actually give you a better picture of what we can actually do in our platform, locally wise. Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, I think so. And again, this, what I already said, this environment is very flexible. It is open. So yeah, if you have any more ideas how to create what apps you need, what kind of integrations, also to integrate your own, like as an end customer, of course, you can also do that and create your own yeah, workspace that is ideal
So
for you.
if you have the idea and the company have the skills, you're welcome to put that on the platform.
Yeah. So what we just want to show you just real quick as a quick assurance where we've already been active. We have active installations on offshore oil rigs. We have already mentioned wind parks on several cargo ship. This is actually one of them, and a fishing vessel was also one of the first projects, I think, and yeah, cruise ships and ferries. So no matter the use case in the maritime sector, we have experience and we have the right solution for it. So a little bit of maybe we just make it short and simple, since we are already a little bit long, short in time. This is just a quick summary of what we hoped you have learned and saw and seen today, what we were able to prove to you. But maybe instead of you can read it a little bit, and on the audio we can already ask for some questions. Madeleine, do we actually have some?
Yes, Alex. Hello, guys. We have indeed one question. In our presentation, you showed us that the IP111 and IP112 was under DNV approval. But what about the IP160? Could you please clarify if the IP160 ever had the DNV certificate, or has it never been tested?
Okay, so in fact that was a little bit misleading there on the slide. In fact, what is DNV approved is the IP111. The IP160 has never had a DNV approval. It is currently under discussion whether we will do it, or rather also together with our partner. It's actually a joint development with Eaton, whether we will put it under DNV. Interesting would be the use case, and since the IP17X, like those models, our plan is, and I want to emphasize that, we really want to put that also under DNV. Those will be DNV certified. And then so far we are confident that we could also use the IP17 in a lot of environments where DNV is required. But yeah, if you have a good use case for the IP160 in a DNV required environment, let us know and then we can consider it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. There are no further questions as far as I can see. I assume that our participants are all full of knowledge after this Maritime Webinar. So thank you.
Yeah.
So great. We were crystal clear.
Crystal clear. Yes, yeah. No more questions.
No more questions.
Just filling out orders. So that's. So yeah. So this is what we want to leave you with. We hope we will see more Moby on board.
Yes.
A little bit. This is our little mascot that you can also see all over the studio. Yeah, so thank you for your attention. We actually hope to see you soon then in spring 2025, where we want to show you more details of IoT, but and also complete intercoms.
Yes.
So we're actually thinking about doing a second webinar. If you can participate, we will also be on Nor Shipping. Yeah.
We will.
And
that's decided.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to never forget about it, actually stay up to date with our newsletter, and you will receive all the news about upcoming events and product updates.
Yes. And just to highlight also the intercom in part 2, we will also talk about accessories, stuff like that.
True.
But
Yeah.
we will add to that product. So it really could make sense to when we announce the date. You block the date. So
Yes.
yes. If you're in Lillestrøm, Norway, as said, please come and visit us on that fair. Send us a mail. We can already schedule a meeting. So thank you for watching.
Yeah. So thank you, and hope to see you soon.
See you next time.